And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. This is your boy FlyIslandGuy, and it has been an absolute long time since I was last on here. Well, not last on here, but since I last recorded. It's been probably a couple months. But we are back with an absolutely new video. If you're watching this is going to be real time. We just recorded it. And I'm going to be trying to get back into recording regularly. I'm kind of back and forth between what I call my first and second homes right now, and don't really have an ideal setup in my second home, but I'm gonna find a way to make it work so that I can kind of keep recording, because I really enjoy doing these videos. I really enjoy Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I enjoy interacting with each and every one of you. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and share those videos. All right, so we are in Miami today. In fact, we're at Miami Executive Airport, and we're going to be heading over to Nassau. And as you can see, we are brand new today, and we're going to be flying the Vision Jet by FlightFX. This just came out as the recording of this video. This came out say about 2 days ago, and I have my hands on it. I was just looking to see what's new out there, so I could record a video, and lo and behold, this jet was actually released, and it does not disappoint. I've flown it before, and well, I tested it out before, and I just love the way it operates. I did have one or two issues, but it's nothing major. So let's hop into the cockpit right about now, and let's get things started. All right, so we are inside. First of all, just taking a look around. It's absolutely modeled beautifully. Like I just love the way it looks on the inside. The inside is actually configurable, and we'll take a quick look at that kind of as we get things set up. But in the meantime, we're going to be going to Nassau today, as I mentioned. If you all know, Nassau is like my test destination for any new aircraft, especially like the light ones. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the aircraft fired up, and we're going to explore a couple features here and there. This is very cool. It's a very easy airplane to fly, very intuitive to operate. And if you've flown the FlightFX Honda Jet, which is an aircraft I use extensively, this one is, you're going to find this one really easy to operate as well. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get our battery on. I'm going to turn on both batteries. It's going to bring up the G3000, get everything initialized, and the cool thing is that it kind of remembers some of your settings from before and everything. So as I said, I fired it up before, so some of this stuff that's on here now, it didn't initially look like this. Alright, so one of the things that I brought up last time is the checklist. I'm going to be trying to use the checklist this time, just to make sure that we get everything up and loaded correctly. But the first thing that we're going to do is, as you can see, we got this cover over the top. I'm going to be able to see outside and get a little bit of fresh sunlight in here this morning. So we are going to go to flight plan. And flight plan, sorry about that. We're going to go to VAMS, this VAMS menu in the MFD. And if you want to get more information and access the manual, you can just scan this barcode. Works absolutely wonderfully. Takes you straight to the, I think, FlightFX.io website. But we are going to go to statics, and the statics menu pretty much has all those things that need to be removed. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get our chocks. So if we just go outside real quick, as you can see, the chocks are on. There's chocks. So we're going to back up again. So let's go back inside. Chocks can come off, and if you come back outside, chocks are removed. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do is get the storage cover off, and as you can see, it's got nice and bright inside here. Storage cover is good to go. All the other covers and protectors, let's remove those as well. And before I was trying to figure out how to use the checklist, but I decided to actually read the manual for a change, figure that out. And if you go right here below the gear lever, we have this little knob here to control. I think you can move around the instrument panel, and you could use this to go through the checklist as well. So what we're going to do, we're just going to say that our pre-flight inspections are done. Door is already closed because we're sitting inside. The parking brake is on. Battery 1 and 2 switches are on. So let's switch on our generator 1 and 2 switches as well. Those are on. External GPU, we're not using that today. We're just going to go straight batteries. And so that's as needed. And verify the FADEC channel is displayed below percentage thrust. It is showing. And thrust indication. Oh, nothing's happening right now because we have no thrust. So let's just mark that as complete. So go to the next checklist. Alright, so before we kind of move on with this, I'm going to come back down to the VAMS page, and we're just going to check a couple more of these buttons. So we have our this is like a preset for like the luggage inside there. I'm not going to select any of this today. It's not really too important, but if you want, you could choose one of those. It kind of just has I believe different luggage in the luggage compartment. Status will determine the configuration that the aircraft is going to have when it starts up, or you could just go to set it to whatever you want. Code and dark would be the preferred option for me. So here is another cool setting, and probably my favorite in the Vision Jet, because I haven't seen this implementation in other places yet. If you notice, there's these two Bose headphones up over the displays, and if you hit the headphones button, it means you actually put the headphones on. So we now have the headphones on, but here's where it gets cool. Now, a lot of issues that we have with these aircraft is that it's too loud on the inside, right? So however, if you come down here below the headphones, there's this active noise reduction setting, and what you do is if you click on that, boom, and let's just check the difference one more time. Off, on. All right, so that's pretty amazing. So now we have our headphones on, we have noise cancellation on, and you hear very little in the cockpit right now. It's almost silent, which I think is a pretty amazing feature. All right, so config, we saw the fact page already. Config page is if we were setting up our seating config inside the aircraft. We have it at complete right now, but if you choose different settings, it'll change the configuration in the rear of the aircraft. So that's all done. What we'll do next is we are going to go to the initialization page. We're going to initialize. So we're going to do the system tests. This is something that's on the Honda Jet, very similar menu. So we just click the pre-flight test button and just let everything go through.
Higher. Stall.
All right. So the system test is all done. So we're going to go back and let's see, another thing that we could do here. I know that there is a way to initialize things, right? So we're just gonna do the weight and balance. And I'm not too sure where it is inside here. Utilities, there we go. In utilities, and I might just skip ahead if you guys have seen this now. We'll go to initialization, and inside here we're going to make sure all of this is set. So you could configure Navigraph charts if you want. I'm not going to worry about that today, but I'm going to have Navigraph kind of running in the background so I could see what's going on. If anybody is interested in seeing how this works, then I might come back and just do that again real quick. But for now, I'm not going to worry with it. Next is initial fuel. What I like to do here is just hit this fob sync button. I've already configured our fuel. Sorry. Wow, I don't know why it looks like this. That is odd. But anyway, this is correct. I've already set our fuel and our passengers and everything inside here. So you can just hit fob sync and you're good to go. And then we are going to do weight and balance. So you can come inside here. These are actually all the settings that I put in before. We have no luggage. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another passenger here. And yeah, we can remove that guy. That was rear storage. That wasn't a passenger. So 1, 2, 3, 4 passengers and 1 pilot. Okay. So that's done. So all of our initialization is done. Let's just accept that. There was a flight plan button there as well. We haven't actually put our flight plan in. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. The flight plan for this trip, it's not really very long at all. This flight is about 50 minutes. So it's a pretty short flight over to Nassau. So just in sim brief now, just taking a look at our route. So that's actually a little longer than last time, but what we're going to do is we're going to go add-on route waypoint, LQ. Let's make sure I'm doing that right. LQ, enter. And Rajay. And the good thing is today we're going to be landing on runway 10 in Nassau. So it's going to be a pretty much straight in approach, which is awesome. And from Miami Executive, so that's pretty much the route there. So we're going to go to Miami Executive. You have to do an instrument departure. So we're going to be doing the MELS 2 departure, which is this guy here. And it's going to have the GLAMS transition. Perfect. And we're going to be departing runway 09 left today. All right, so we'll go ahead and load that. And that should be up and running. Boom. What we're going to do, back in the MFT. Oh, one last thing, sorry. Actually, let's come back inside procedure. We're going to do approach. We're going to be doing let's do the RNAV runway 10 approach. And I believe the ATAID transition is fine. So we're going to go ahead and load that. And then we're going to go back. Or we just go home, either one. And let's just make sure the map is up here. Now, I just got to remember how to bring the map back. It's not that. Let's move away. Let's see. It's one of these displays. It's one of these options here. I'm trying to remember. Aircraft system, status and info. It's not it. I think the status and info. Oh, there we go. Map is back. So now we have the map here. That's not the way I want it to. Bring this over here. That should be the map. There we go. And we'll also go and put this guy to aircraft systems. And status and info. There we go. Perfect. And we can go to the electrical power page. Boom. There we go. So as you can see right now, if you look on the screen, we have our batteries. Our batteries are on, providing power. We have our generators also on, but they're not providing any power right now because the engines aren't started. Once that happens, we should see some amperage inside here. But outside of that, everything else looks good. All right, so we're going to go back now and let's bring our checklist back up, and we're going to do the engine start checklist. And we're going to configure like a couple other things, like once we get through this checklist. Actually, no, I'll do that now. So let's finish off getting the FMS set up, getting our flight director configured, all that good stuff. So we are going to be cruising at 27,000 feet today. So let's go ahead, turn the flight director on, and we are going to go to 27,000 feet. And I wish there was a faster way of doing this. Let's see. All right. So we're not going to be using any ATC today, so we're just going to go straight up to our cruising altitude. Once I get more comfortable flying the aircraft, then obviously I'm going to start bringing ATC into the equation once again, which I haven't done for a long time now. So I'm going to be a little nervous getting back in, but that's no big deal. All right, 27,000 feet. We're good to go. We'll also set our altimeter. Saying standard right now, so it's not automatically being set, so the altimeter must be 299.2 currently, or the pressure, so we're just going to leave it there. All right. Okay, so now that that is done, we have our flight director on, we have our altitude set. I'm going to continue with this checklist, okay? Just another quick thing, if you're interested in getting the screen to look how you want, we have the PFD configuration menu here. You can set our nav source. Right now it's set to GPS, but you can set it to, VOR, or we could set it to loc if we've tuned the localizer frequency. So that's the nav source, but for now we're going to leave it at GPS. We could switch on our bearings if you wanted, so tune the VOR, follow it. But it looks like it cycles through as well. Off, nav 1, nav 2. Cool. All right, so we'll just leave it off for now for both of them. Okay, off and off. Boom. We can go ahead and set our speed bugs as well. Now, you should be doing this after you've set your weight and balance. It looks like your weight and balance is really going to affect these too much. But we can go ahead and get those in there. And then we could do all on as well for takeoff and landing. So those are set. All right. So let's go back. Oh, sorry. Actually, there's a couple more things here as well. You can set your timers if you want. You could set your minimums. I believe it's like 10 feet or something. No, it's not 10 feet. I'll have to look it up to see what it is. That's the airport elevation in Nassau, but you can set your minimums there. When I did it last time, I didn't really get any minimums warning, so maybe I missed it, but I did actually hear an audible warning. You could turn your traffic map on and on, off and on. Then you could come inside here with your map settings. You could turn on your synthetic vision, your next red, all those other features. You could do that inside here. So configure it as you see fit, and then go from there. Okay. All right. So now that we've kind of gone through that, let's go ahead and let us complete our checklist for engine start. So we'll go ahead and switch our strobe lights on, and we can mark that as done. Cast messages. See, we have our probe heat message here. Let's go ahead and just switch that on. Thrust lever, make sure that is set to idle. So, all right. It's about as idle as it gets. So brakes are on. Now, if you don't know where the brakes are for the Vision Jet, if you come down below, that's your park and brake there. If you're ever looking for it, it took me a while to find it. There you go. Oops. So, like most of these new jets, the way to start up the Vision Jet is very, very, very simple. So, if you look over to the left-hand side, this is where the start is. You have a knob here that has off and run, and you have engine start stop. So, of course, you set your engine knob to run. So you do that. And then you just hit your engine start stop button. And voila, surprise, surprise, the aircraft is starting. So, do the fuel pump check, make sure that is your fuel is coming through. Verify fuel pump on, advisory cast displayed, which it was. And we've just confirmed it audibly. And there's no engine start bat temp or engine start volts messages, so everything should be good to go. And it's cool. We've pressed the engine button, and we're monitoring the instruments. Everything looks good. All right. So there's one message here. It says caution at 25% N2, ensure positive N1 indication. Be prepared to abort start if any of the following occur. ITT exceeds limits. Red line, no N1 indication by 25% N2. No evidence of light off within 8 seconds. And low oil pressure after start. Okay. But everything is looking good as far as I can see here. So we are good to go. So, EIS on normal ECS control panel. Oops. I think all of this is good. External GPU is disconnected. Oxygen master switch, verify that is on. So that is over here. Master switch, that is on. And you hear the oxygen getting primed to pump through. Avionics initialization, all is complete. Caps pin remove and stow. Now, I'm going to admit that I don't know where what the caps pin is, but I'm assuming we kind of got rid of all of that stuff when we removed all the static elements, so that should be good. I'll have to look that up and see what that is. let's imagine that our passengers are briefed and all their seatbelts are secured. So the bleed fresh air switch should not be set to bleed until battery 1 and battery 2 have been on for 2 minutes or more, which it has been. So we can go ahead and set that on. And that is done. All right, so before taxi checklist, comm navigation is already set. ATIS clearance, we don't have to worry about this. We have no ATC today. Altimeter is already set. Our transponder, we'll just assume this is set for now because once again we're not using ATC, so I'm not too worried about that. But if we were using VATSIM, we make sure that's checked. Heading and initial altitude, we have that already set. We don't have our heading set, but once again, not too worried about that right now. So heading, that's fine. Flight controls, make sure they are free and correct. Let's look around. Everything feels good. If you want, you can come to the aircraft systems menu. Let's see. Nothing on there. I'm not really seeing anything in here for the controls, but everything kind of feels and looks good. If anybody knows for a way to actually check this without looking outside, please let me know. But outside of that, we're just going to say that things are good. All right. Let's see. Outside of that, flight controls, free and correct. Turn engine ice protection system on if the outside air temperature is less than 41 degrees Fahrenheit. So I doubt that'll be the case since we're in Florida right now. That'll be a good time to check the weather. En route, things are pretty good. Not too much happening. There is a little bit of band of weather. Looks like some very light rain, kind of in the northern Bahamas. But we're going to be heading down here to Nassau, so that shouldn't be a huge issue. But things are pretty much all clear here as well in Miami. And let's see, temperature at Miami Executive right now is 24 degrees C as expected. Nice and comfortable day here in Miami. So, can mark this done. Trim should be set to 6 degrees. Trim is right here. Let's see. 7.6. That is done. Flaps go to 50%. If you want to see your flap side, you could either look here or we could look down here as well. That's the knob. So electric roll trim, that is set. So toggle button. No, I'm actually not 100% sure where that is. I'm assuming it's that guy there. No, that might be the... Yeah, I actually don't know where the toggle button is. So that's interesting. Let's see, is there anything up top here? Not sure. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything there. But I know you could just kind of advance the, you could advance it all the way to the front. And you'll get your required takeoff thrust. But I'm gonna have to find out where the toggle button is as well, because I'm not too sure where it is, to be honest. Okay, so let's see. Cast messages all set and seats must be in the normal and upright position. Boom and boom. Okay. So we're going to be heading to runway 09 left, and I'm just going to double check Navigraph here. And let's see our charts. We're going to go taxi, airport info. All right, so in order to get to runway 9 left, we're going to be turning left and just taxiing all the way up here. And then we're going to be coming for the 9 left departure right there. So good to go. So I think we are all ready overall though. Still can't hear the aircraft on because we have our noise cancellation on. If you want to come back and turn it off real quick to just have a quick listen, we could do that. Let's show you the difference. We advance our throttles. So there we go. But just so you can hear me a little better, we're just going to go ahead and turn our noise cancellation back on. All right. And we can go ahead and just do our brakes check. Yeah, brakes are working. So once we get to the threshold, we'll go ahead and we will, come on with these trucks, man. Once we get to the threshold, we'll go ahead and we'll mark those 2 items as done. Or at least until we can get somewhere straight here. All right. So that is done. That is done. We'll go to the next. Should be our before takeoff checklist. We'll go through that. Well, before we take off. So we'll just hold short of runway 9 left. But outside of that, folks, yeah, the Vision Jet is pretty cool. If you're a big fan of the kind of small, corporate jets, I'm hoping at some point to get in something bigger, like a Learjet or something like that. But for now, this will do. But this is a very well built aircraft, let's say. And here now we're coming up to the right turn onto runway 9 left. Here we go. Runway 9 left is here. And we're just going to pause. And we're going to go through our before takeoff checklist. And then it's going to be off to Nassau, folks. So, departure briefing is complete. Let's get our landing lights on. Probe heat switch. I think our probe heat is already on. Engine ice protection switch as required. We don't need it today. Wing stab IPS switch is off. We have no cast messages, which is good. Trim is set to 6 degrees. Flaps are 50%. Verify the takeoff emergency bat cast message is not displayed, which is not. And the multifunction windows, make sure they're configured. So basically setting these up the way that we want it. So what I'll do is I'll just get the map up on one side. And we are going to get out of here, folks. So let's switch over there, get our map up. Good to go. So on our normal takeoff, we're going to hold the brakes. We're going to set the thrust level to takeoff. We're going to make sure our engine instruments are normal. We're going to release the brakes. We're going to rotate at 80 to 90 knots, set a pitch of 5 degrees. Landing gears up, positive rate of climb, flaps up at 150 knots and clear of obstacles, and then our airspeed as per the climb tables. All right, so we're going to check all this stuff off kind of once we get going. So here we are, runway 9 left. And we are going to just slowly advance the throttles to take off. Engine instruments are looking good. I'm going to look for about 80 to 90 knots to rotate. And we're a bit on the heavy side today, but it's all good. Hitting 90 knots now, so just pull back on the stick slightly, and she just gently comes off the ground. So flaps can come up. And ladies and gentlemen, we are in the air. I see one thing that our yaw damper isn't on, so I should double check that. Kind of mark our way through this stuff. Pitch attitude's a little high. It's fine. Landing gear, we go ahead and raise our gear. Flaps are up, and our airspeed is set. I gotta watch our our attitude. I've said it before a million times, folks. I just love flying out of Florida. I think it's absolutely amazing. And just so I can give myself a little chance to talk, what I'll do is we will get our autopilot on. We could do flight level change. There we go. And we'll set our nav mode as well. Now, fun fact, this aircraft actually has an auto throttle as well. So you can set the speed that you want and kind of just set it and forget it. I'm not going to use it yet, but just going to kind of keep climbing at the speed that we're at. Let's see what the next part of the checklist says. So this is the normal takeoff checklist. So now that we're in climb, we'll set our throttle to MCT, which is also very similar to what you do in the Honda Jet. And let's see how to do that. So Throttle's now set to MCT. We're still holding about 145 knots on climb. We're doing about 2,000 feet per minute. We just got to monitor our engine and engine parameters and cabin pressure. Ice protection as required. Once again, we still don't need it. And at our transition altitude, which is 18,000 feet, we switch over to standard altimeter, which is 299.2, which are already there right now, so that's actually good. So we can check all this off. Boom, 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 boom. All right. I will complete our cruise checklist once we hit cruise, but for now, we're just going to enjoy our climb out. You can kind of try and move a little further back if you want. Get that last view of Florida on the way out as we climb to the clear blue skies. I need to actually set up a view here. So I'm going to do this one, and then we will kind of move over onto the other side. Oh, I can't move over. There we go. Chair was in the way. And we'll come back here. Let's do this. There we go. And we could set that as well. And let's do this. Actually, let's do that. All right. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. So very quiet climb out right now. We're about to cross 10,000 feet. And while we're kind of heading up into the sky, I just want to take just a quick moment just to talk about my my current situation right now. So if anybody's been following my channel, you know that I have lost my job. I lost my job probably a few months ago. I took a little bit of time off just to kind of relax and kind of gather myself and decide what I'm going to do next. But now I've actually kind of gone back out and I've started kind of getting some resumes and stuff out there. If I could recommend anything for anybody, it is focus on getting yourself a second stream of income, because that is extremely important, especially when you run into situations like this where you lose your job. Now, luckily, I am kind of blessed to have a good amount of savings that will last me for a little while, just in case the job search takes a little longer than I anticipate. But in the meantime, I'm still going to be looking on ways to make extra money. And one of them is going to be to try and improve my YouTube presence a little bit, put out a better quality product if I can, and like I have a couple other ideas here and there, starting up a small business, that sort of thing, but definitely my focus for 2023 is to get a second stream of income up and off the ground, because I don't like having to rely solely on a single job to make money. It's not good, and it's only recently that I've really realized this. So that's gonna be my goal for 2023. And there's a couple other ideas I have as well, and I'm just thankful to my girlfriend. I absolutely love her to death. She's really been able to kind of help me to think about things and put things in perspective, and kind of give me other ideas as well on how I can improve life. So I'm really, really thankful to her for that. In the meantime, folks, I hope that you are enjoying this video about the Vision Jet. It's been a vision to fly it. Absolutely love it. And things are running very well on my mobile gaming rig. So right now I'm recording on my my mobile rig, which is a ROG Strix Scar 17. It's got a 3070 Ti and I think like 16 gigs of RAM, i9 processor. So yeah, it actually runs Flight Simulator better than my my desktop. And I don't know if I should be surprised by that or not, but I really want to get my desktop. When I have some more money coming in, I'm going to kind of got my desktop and really like upgrade the processor a lot. Like I already have a 3080 Ti inside there. So it's not really the video card that's holding things back. I think it's my i5 and 9600K processor that's inside there. So gotta work on those things. Anyways, folks, in the meantime, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be calculating our rate of descent, descent rate and our top of descent, sorry. So when I come back, we're going to be starting our descent into the Bahamas area. Hopefully get some good views on the way in and have an absolutely amazing landing. Okay? So, this is your boy FlyIslandGuy, and I shall be back soon. In the meantime, just enjoy the outside views of the Vision Jet. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have started our descent into the Bahamas area. Well, we're well into it at this point. I can imagine we're probably about 5 or 10 minutes out from the airport now. Just to kind of show what approach we are doing today. So we are going to be doing the RNAV Runway 10 approach, which has us heading towards the Atade waypoint. And right now we're trying to descend down to 2,000 feet, but it does seem like we're a little high. And I've done this approach so many times, and to say I'm not going to really go into too much detail from here, but we're going to be descending down to 2,000 feet for Jobib, and then going to 1,600 feet to prepare for the RNAV approach. But as you can see, it's a great day here in the Bahamas. So really, at this point, we could just fly the approach visually once we line up with the runway. So that is really good. As I say every single time I fly into the Bahamas, I love flying here. It's something about it. I don't know what it is. I personally think island flying is some of the best flying that you could do. But I know a lot of people like mountain flying as well. Like whatever your preference is. I haven't really done too much mountain flying, just by the nature of the aircraft that I fly and where I go. Yeah, it's I don't know, I just really enjoy it. Something about the open water and the approaches into the islands. If you're going to somewhere like Trinidad, sometimes you'll get a bunch of you have like a pretty weird approach that takes you over the mountains or whatever, which is pretty cool too. St. Lucia is the same way. Right now we've settled down at 2,000 feet, about 1.5 nautical miles away from Atade. So just using the Autothrottle right now, we can dial it back to about 140 knots. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm using the Autothrottle right now. I have the Autothrottle on, as you can see. And you can either set it to be managed by the FMS, or you can kind of set the speed manually. I'm just setting the speed manually right now. We're going to try and get it down to 140 knots. And why 140 knots, you say? That's because if you go over to our approach checklist, which we're going to be going through now, we've already done our approach briefing, which we've completed. All seats and tray tables must be in the normal and upright position. Ice protection as needed. We don't need it. Lights are as needed. We don't need them. We can dial our flaps now back to 50%. Or drop them to 50%. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Airspeed right now, we're trying to hold at 140 knots. So there we go. Boom. Approach checklist complete. Airport should be, here it is. Even though a lot of people are saying this is immersion braking, we shouldn't be able to see these lights like way off in the distance. But that is the airport right there. And I believe that's runway 10 that we're heading to. So, once we get within like the final waypoint, close to the final waypoint, we're going to do our before landing checklist, and just make sure that everything is good to go. Haven't had any issues this time with the FMS. I was having like 1 or 2 issues before for some reason, and I was testing things out, but everything is looking absolutely lovely right now. What I will do though, we need to go down to 60 and 100. And let's go ahead and do that. Vertical speed. And I'm going to hit approach mode as well, just so we can capture that glide path, although I probably waited too late to do that. So yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna make it. Maybe we'll see. All right. So we're gonna go full flaps and gear down. And we're also going to disable our Autothrottle. Okay. And as far as checklist flaps, as required, we honestly don't need full flaps like that. Cabin pressure is looking good. Windshield IPS switch off, autopilot off, airspeed VREF. Okay, so we're actually going to be a little higher now. So I'm just going to dial back our throttle, and autopilot is going to come off because we're actually very high. But I'm just going to dial back the throttle, and we should start falling out the sky just a little bit. I think our approach speed is supposed to be about 100 knots. And I need to find a setting, like a new position. Camera position about there should be fine. And I'm coming in very slow. I'm gonna do there we go. So we have pretty much a tailwind right now. I don't think it's too strong though. It's about 2 knots. So that's why you should kind of monitor the weather wherever you're going. That's kind of why I enjoy VATSIM, because you don't have to worry about that stuff too much. The controllers will tell you what the wind is, what runway is active, and you can just choose what you want, or just follow what they say. Adjust as required. We're a little high. Give a quick shout out to Camera on MD80 if he's done the recording. Haven't seen his videos in a minute. Alright, we're still a little high, no issues though. Alright, and I'm actually going to try and land long, because this is a fairly long runway. And we actually have to go all the way down to the end to get off it, so I'm going to cut the throttles and just let it sink. And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nassau, Bahamas. Just actually trying to see if there's any spoilers. I don't think we have spoilers on this aircraft. Yeah. None that I see. Alrighty, folks. So we have landed. Alright. So we're just going to come off the runway here right at the very end. And we're going to take a left. There is an FBO off to our right here, but I kind of want to go over to the main terminal area. All right. And we have a giant airplane heading right towards us. Is that the case? That is the case. But gonna have to do what we gotta do. Or maybe we should try and this is a runway here. It's not, that's the runway. And of course, it's the biggest airplane we could find. And it's gone. Yeah, not really too sure that was there. But yes, folks, this is Nassau. And I'm running FSLTL, so there should be some aircraft here. We'll kind of park over in the domestic area, and we'll see what's over there. Gonna go landing lights off and flight director can come off as well. And I forgot to do the before landing checklist. Or did I? No, I think I completed that. There's an after landing checklist as well, but I find it hard to do because I only have 2 hands. All right. So here we are in the domestic section. Getting a bit of stuttering here, not sure why though. We have some Bahamas Air ATRs over here. I think what we'll do is park right here in the corner. Actually, is this a spot here? Yeah, let's park here. All right. And that is it. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through our checklist, just finish things off. We've already landed. After landing, or go around checklist, we don't need to do this one. You can kind of skip this guy. After landing, so our flaps are up. The IPS switches are off. Engine IPS switch is off. Probe heat switch can come off. External lights as required. Brakes check. Boom, good to go. All right, so last thing to do now is the shutdown. So we have our thrust levers at idle. Engine instrument pressure switch is off. Bleed switch. Fresh oxygen master off, so you can get that guy off. Lights can come off, or we'll leave the strobe one to return the aircraft off. The engine knob could go to off, and then another thing we could do is just click in the corner here. There you go. Engine knob switch to off. Strobes can come off. And N2 is below 24%. We've already pressed the engine button. And caps pin, we will replace that as well. All right, so that's pretty much it, folks. We are down and we've landed safely. Pretty safe flight overall. So we can just go outside. And that is it. Vision Jet, got a little taste of it. It's been absolutely amazing. I love this little jet. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. Have you flown it yet? Are you gonna fly it? This is one of those projects where I was like, it's kind of iffy on it, but I was kind of intrigued as well, mainly because I'm looking to fly something a little bigger now. But I decided to pick it up. It's a really nice jet to fly, and I can't wait to explore the world a little bit more in it. As I said before, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video if you see fit. And outside of that, I'll be back with a new video sometime soon. This is your boy FlyIslandGuy saying stay safe and most importantly, stay fly. I'm out. Peace.